Firstly, I will discuss how to deal with absences, and my colleague Jennifer Smith will go on to discuss underperformers. We've chosen to discuss this topic for our update because addressing sickness absence can be very difficult for managers. The law highly regulates how you should manage this issue, and also if you do get it wrong, then there's likely to be a negative impact on your organisation and the individuals within it. With sickness absence, it is vital that it's the problem that's managed. For my part of the session, I intend to look at the balance that must be struck by an employer between its own needs and those of an employee in a sickness absence situation. We'll then go on to look at the legal drivers for managing sickness absence. Then we'll look at how to manage an employee who is constantly on short-term sickness absences, and also we'll briefly look at how to deal with long-term sickness absence. And finally, we'll then look at how to fairly dismiss employees who have taken excessive sickness leave. So if we just look at the potential claims that may be brought if there's a mishandling of an absence situation, an employee could potentially bring an unfair dismissal claim. As I mentioned in the table beforehand, they do have contractual rights such as to sick pay. So if that's breached by the company, then there's a potential breach of contract claim. If an employee feels that they haven't been treated fairly and the relationships become so untenable that they can't stay and they resign as a result, they may wish to submit a constructive dismissal claim to the Employment Tribunal.
As Claire stated, when considering the topic of managing problem employees, we're ostensibly looking at two key areas. The first being managing sickness absence, which Claire has obviously discussed, and the second being managing performance issues, in particular poor performance. Now, over the next 15 minutes, I'll discuss and outline the key legal and practical issues that arise when an employee's performance falls below the required standard. I'll also offer guidance on how to dismiss fairly for poor performance. So, what do we mean by poor performance? Well, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking about cases over the last year, where particularly with the economic climate as it has been, employers are dismissing employees more for poor performance. Now, it can be anything from a lack of productivity, failure to meet targets, consistent failure, a general slowness. It can be an inability to establish a good working relationship with clients, similarly with colleagues as well, it's just as important. And it can be inflexibility really, failure to adapt.